Hello and welcome to another WildStar video here on the Fluffy Gaming channel. And unless you've been living under a rock, you will be aware that there is a new DevSpeak out, and we wanted to talk about that today, didn't we?
Yes, DevSpeaks are good.
DevSpeaks are awesome. So the WildStar official YouTube channel, they have a new video about aiming, and it's sort of showing all the awesomeness of how that works in game, isn't it?
Yeah, basically how the combat system will take you from the traditional tab targeting and auto kind of focusing almost of traditional MMOs and take a lot of the kind of lessons from action combat in, say, Guild Wars 2 and other action combat-y type games.
MOBAs.
And then, yeah, and MOBAs as well, they mentioned that, and just bring them all together to make a very heavily skill shot based skill shot based system, really.
Yeah. One of the cool things that I thought that was touched on in the video was the fact that they were talking about old school tab targeting being sort of clunky when they tried it alongside their telegraphing system, which is the combat system of the mobs broadcasting where an attack's going to come so that you can position yourself in such a way that you avoid it. And it'll come down to awareness and reaction times a lot more that way. So
movement being able to point in the right direction and things like that.
So really bringing it down to the skill shot system really just opens it up to be a much more dynamic action combat driven experience, which we've known from the get-go, but this video really kind of delved into it and showed a lot more of how that's going to work, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It was really clear actually, and showed their thought process of how they've come to the decisions they've come to, and actually shows some older footage of what systems were in before, didn't it? So
yeah, it kind of showed how it was better.
targeting and the way,
which is something that's just coming up again and again and again as we're learning more and more about this. That they're really trying like multiple things and trying to figure out which is the best possible way to do something. Which I think is, it just shows that the devs at Carbine, they're really committed. They're listening, and they just really want it to be a good game, which is not always true in studios when a game's being developed. A lot of times things are just done and kind of that's it. So it's nice to see something being worked on that is clearly care and thought is being put into it, and it's not just seen as a money-grabbing attempt to capitalise on WoW.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, if your combat isn't right, the game is going to die.
Yeah, if the combat sucks, you don't have a game.
No, there's so many games like that, even any kind of game.
Yeah.
If the combat doesn't feel right, or it's just horrible.
Exactly.
And it affects my gameplay. It affects the games I play so much when I go into a game and I don't feel like it's very connective. And
well, it's just the feel, isn't it? It's just how if you get a good strong feeling of your input into the character, having a real impact on how the game comes out, and if that's a solid part of the game, then you connect with it in a way that you don't if you're playing something that just has crap combat and the controls are terrible. And so
exactly.
But this video really highlighted it, and one of the really cool things that I thought that was touched upon in the video as well was how it's also going to affect healing in ways that hasn't necessarily been done before. Well, I mean, it's been done before, but at the MMO level, probably not.
Yeah, and even the tanking. I like the idea that they said that you'll notice when you've got a good healer and when you'll notice when you've got a good tank.
Because that good healer is going to be the one who can line up his heals effectively to get the most area coverage out of them, and things like that. And all that stuff's just awesome and whets my appetite so much for this game.
Yeah, it means you won't be standing as a healer sort of stationary at the back somewhere, making sure you're not standing in fire and using the whack-a-mole system.
It just takes the focus away from staring at a grid.
Yeah. And
actually being actively part of the fight. I mean, not to say that that's all that WoW healers did, because they did have to move out of the fire. And
yes, they did.
They had to stand in the right place at the right time. But this just brings a whole new dimension to it in terms of effectively, making sure that you get the best coverage by like an area heal, for instance.
Yeah,
So,
and making it fresh, interesting,
exactly, yeah.
different. You know,
I mean, WoW and other MMOs have had things like area of effect heals, like the healing rain from the shaman. That's one that I always remember. But that again, when I was playing as a shaman in WoW and had abilities like that, that was always one of the cool things that I thought, yeah, that's really, I like that, because it's not just me hitting a button, it's actually thinking about where I want the healing to go and, you know, where people are going to be standing. And this is just going to take that and just bring it to a whole new world of of a world of WildStar awesomeness.
Yeah, it's definitely, and the video, I mean, I've got to say, I've seen the game looking good before, but in this video, fully HD, it really showed off how amazing the art style is, and how really, well, just beautiful it is. It's awesome. Really got hit by it this time. I didn't understand why it was changed.
I think it was also just the way that they presented it in the video, and the way that the person doing the speaking kind of just communicated exactly their feeling about everything, and it was really it was free of any bullshit, really. It was just kind of telling it like it is, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It was very face value, kind of, this is how it goes. There's no,
and they even had like the tongue-in-cheek humour going for it with the Ride of the Valkyries at the end of the video.
Oh yes, that was brilliant.
We won't spoil exactly what that is for you, so in case you haven't seen it. So yeah, we will link to that video in the description below. And yes, we will say thank you for watching. We just wanted to bring that to your attention in case you'd missed it. Stay tuned for more WildStar discussion on the Fluffy Gaming channel. And as always, we will see you very soon with more WildStar information.
Yay!